Hi everyone, we'd like to welcome you to our Hangout at City Hall. Every first Tuesday of every month, we bring in special guests to talk about important city issues. So this time for hanging out with us is Dusty Trevino, COO and CFO, and Sky Trevino over there, our CTO and CIO of .vegas, Inc. And they're going to be telling us how you can land your very own .vegas domain name. If you're watching live and have questions, feel free to tweet us a question for these gentlemen at hashtag City Hall Hangout hashtag. Once this hangout is over, a recorded version can be seen at youtube.com/citylasvegas. Thanks so much for coming up.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Well, let's get started with some questions. First of all, let's just start out with what exactly is .vegas about?
Sure. .vegas was created to apply for a top-level domain. So the city of Las Vegas actually now is one of the first and very few cities that actually has a top-level domain. And like I said, it's a big thing for the city. It's a big thing for us. And so now people will be able to end their web address instead of a .com or .net or .org. They'll be able to end their domain name in Vegas.
And there's only like 4 cities in it?
Yeah, there's only 4 U.S. cities that applied for them. It was us, Miami, Boston, and New York are the only cities applied for it. So we're kind of in a very select group of cities that received that were awarded their own top-level domain.
I guess you need to be pretty recognizable in order to qualify for starters.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely, yes.
Well, why don't we find out what is a top-level domain, or TLDs they call it in biz, and why is there a surge into TLDs?
Sure, yeah. The TLD, again, is anything right of the dot. So, again, a .com, .net, .org, which is what everybody's familiar with, is considered a top-level domain. And so now they're opening up the spectrum, ICANN is, and was allowing anybody to apply for any new top-level domain they wanted. And that's when we saw the opportunity.
Okay. And how many top-level domains would you say come out? I mean, as the computer age and technology advances, are there a lot more of these coming out each year?
Not each year. Initially, there were probably 200 and some, and that included every country got their own. Now with this new batch coming out, I think there's roughly 1,000. It's not an ongoing thing. They will do it in batches. ICANN will allow it in batches, and we don't know when the next one is, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was one of the important things to recognize. Is like I said, they opened up this process, and it's now closed. So if you've missed the opportunity, if a city has missed the opportunity, they can't now apply for a top-level domain. They've missed it.
Anywhere in the world?
Yeah, anywhere in the world.
Okay, all right. Well, who decides what domains are allowed and which ones are not?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because what people don't realize, there is a governing body of the internet. It's called ICANN, which stands for Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers. A lot of words, but basically it's a board of 15 members from across the world that again control what happens on the internet, and they're the ones that decided to open up the process and start what they consider democratizing the internet.
Okay, ICANN is a lot easier to say.
Yes, a lot easier to say.
Why .vegas? Why do you think we got it? For city got it?
Yes, just one of the things is Vegas is such an iconic city, and more than that, it's such an iconic brand. And again, when we went into the process, we were again thinking of anything from .apples to .zebra, what to apply for. And so, again, being residents of the city of Las Vegas, we saw a great opportunity with Vegas being not only a geographic location where somebody again can brand themselves. Now with a geographic location, again, I can get Bill's Muffler Shop.vegas as opposed to Bill's Muffler Shop.com, but it is a brand in itself, and so allows people to create a digital market or digital brand around the Las Vegas.
How does the process start? Like, how did Las Vegas become involved in this?
Well, actually, we originally went back to the city, went to the city back in 2008 originally, to be honest with you, to approach them about what was going on the internet, what ICANN was doing, what we wanted to do, and how they could get involved with us. At the time, when you made the application for what was considered a top-level domain, you needed the blessing of the jurisdiction, and so that's where we went before the city. And in 2010 is when we actually went before the city council to get actually endorse us, who went for the vote to endorse us for our application. So that's how the city kind of got involved with it.
Well, can there possibly be a disadvantage to allowing it? I mean, I can't imagine, I'm not a city council member or a mayor, but I can't imagine after finding out that it's just going to give us more visibility that there would be any disadvantage at all.
Yeah, we don't see any disadvantage. Again, it's just a great way for the city to even get more exposure than they already do.
More pleasure, and what about money?
and money, absolutely. Yeah. So one of the things we worked out with the city is for their endorsement, they receive in perpetuity at 10% of the gross revenue received from us selling domains.
Okay. Well, and there's nothing like that, especially as we're falling out of our recession. There are some really key dates coming up that might be important to let people know about, as far as if you're looking to register a .vegas domain. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So one of the big dates that we just finished up was what was considered a sunrise period. And what that was is for trademark holders had the first right to come in and protect the trademarks. And so we actually just finished that process on Friday. I think it was just last Friday. We saw a really participation rate by, as you would expect, all the big corporations here in Las Vegas Valley. That's done. Our next phase starts August 14th and will run until September 10th. That is a rush phase. That's for anybody who wants to jump the line and say they've got a really good name that they're interested in. They think other people might be interested in that same name. They can come in through that period and kind of jump the line ahead of everybody else. Because after that, we start a general availability, which starts September 15th, and that's when pretty much everybody's going to come in and submit an application for a .vegas.
Okay, and where do people register?
We pretty much have all the major registrars signed up right now, and again, a registrar is like a GoDaddy, who's everybody's familiar with, the network solutions, one-in-one domain. All of those guys will actually be reselling the .vegas top-level domain. So, in fact, you could go to GoDaddy.vegas today and pre-register a domain name.
Okay.
So they actually have a .vegas already up and running.
And going back to this time period of August 14th through September 10th, the land rush, is anyone in the world want to do this, correct?
Yeah.
So the chances of somebody asking for the same name, what happens when that happens?
Then so if two people apply for the same name, it would then go to auction between those parties.
Okay.
And again, that's handled by an auction house. There's, again, companies in our space that is their specialty. We're going to use a company called nic. And so we would notify the applicants and say somebody else has also applied for that name, and then they would create an auction environment for them to be able to buy it.
So you're really bidding on a name that's out there in the internet world. How can we expect this to benefit our city, aside from the money?
Yeah, I mean, again, the revenue is a big aspect of it. The other aspect of it is think about it. Anytime somebody buys a .vegas domain and they advertise it, that's an impression for the city. That's an impression that the city doesn't have to pay for, but people are going to see that Vegas image. A good example is, again, we were on the front page of GoDaddy about a week ago, and they had a big banner saying, you know, .vegas coming soon. And yes, it was for the .vegas top-level domain, but it was still an impression for Vegas, the city. And for example, GoDaddy gets over 1 million views a day on the website. So that's 1 million people that saw the word Vegas. Vegas didn't have to pay for that. It's one of those things. And so it's a great, again, branding opportunity for people and the city to be able to continue to expand its brand outside and be seen as more than just a gaming attraction. It really is, again, innovative, technology-driven economy now we're living in the city of Las Vegas.
And it does show they're kind of trying to keep up with the times, right? People expect that of a world-class city like Las Vegas.
Right. I think you might see now people beginning to view us as a tech city that Las Vegas is becoming, and not just a tourist destination. And I think this can certainly help them.
And we have to give kudos to our Davies. She has been with us a little over a year now, and she really heads up all of the social media. And I'm telling you, she's gotten people to tweet and to get on Facebook and to do Google Hangouts who never even knew what this stuff was. And she's been just hugely responsible for us catching up with the times just a little bit. I did have one question, pardon me for my ignorance, but if any place in the world can use .vegas, is there anything about that? I mean, does it give the does it insinuate that they're in Vegas when they're in somewhere else across the world?
Yes, I mean that's a great question because it is difficult. There's a fine line because again we have people, because we're a worldwide destination, that do business with Las Vegas that might not necessarily reside here. You have tour operators in China that bring in a ton of tourists a year here. Well, we didn't want to eliminate them from being able to brand themselves with Vegas since they do work with the city, even though they don't reside here. You know, again, on the opposite spectrum, you have .nyc for New York City. They were what you consider very restrictive. To provide .nyc, you have to reside in the city, have to have proof of it, or if it's an organization, you have to show articles of incorporation, stuff like that. But then it does limit you, again, to the people who can actually buy it. And again, I think with our city, it is such an iconic city and iconic brand that you really don't want to limit it just to the residents of Las Vegas. And we went before the city council, and Oscar Goodman, who was mayor, they were very explicit about the fact they did want it to be a worldwide thing for anybody to be able to participate.
Okay, Scott, is there anything you want to add that I haven't specifically asked you about this? Since you're the experts and I'm not.
Not that I can think of, other than just get out and register September 15th. Or
come in soon, partake.
That's right.
There's a lot of interest in it, and we're seeing it every day. So.
Okay, I'm just going to repeat the dates. The Land Rush is August 14th through September 10th, and that again it allows anyone anywhere in the world to apply. And that's where also you could find duplicate requests and
you might
go into a bidding war.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, so few people know or will participate in that. Again, your chances of getting the domain that you want is very, very great. It's a lot greater than coming into the general availability.
Okay, and that general availability once again is on September 15th.
Yes.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks
you.
for coming on
Thanks
up.
for having us.
All right. We want to thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dusty and Sky. You can learn more about .vegas at .vegasinc.com. As a reminder, this hangout is being recorded and will be available on youtube.com/City of Las Vegas. And we'll see you for the next City Hall Hangout.